This video is for introducing the use of slicer tool when using pivot tables for presentation. When using pivot tables to present data in matrix format, the slicer is an important visual presentation tool that can be used to ease the formatting process as well as for data filtering without needing to keep changing the formulas in your Excel file to reference to different presentation formats required. Let us jump straight into an example on Excel to introduce this tool using the same data set that we used previously. Using the same bridging table which has captured data related to block, level, unit, task, start date, end date, completion status and delay status, let's create a pivot table as a presentation format. Let's select the block as the filter, the level as the row, the task as the column and the completed status as the value. Under Value Field Setting, we will select the average calculation to summarize the data and change the number format to percentage with no decimal place. We can use the sort function to sort the rows with the lowest level at the bottom for ease of visualization. To add a slicer, simply click on any cell inside the pivot table first, then click the Insert tab and select Slicer. You will find that all pivot tables corresponding bridging tables column headers are listed in the slicer list to be selected. The slicer is essentially a filter tool that can add it to the presentation page for ease of visualizing the filter without the need to go back to the bridging table to add filters there. If you add a slicer item related to the column or row elements of a pivot table, you will be able to control the size of the matrix table easily. For example, if you select the level as the slicer, you can reduce the numbers of rows shown. If you select the task as the slicer instead, you will be able to reduce the number of columns shown. If you add a slicer item that is neither the row element nor the column element, the filter will be affecting the value shown inside the matrix table. You can create multiple pivot tables as a presentation format with a slicer linked to all the pivot tables for ease of format manipulation. For example, we can create a level against task matrix table for each block by copy and paste the pivot tables repeatedly and change the filter. On the right side of the pivot table, we insert a slicer for the first table for filtering the task to reduce the number of tasks shown in the matrix table. Right-click on the slicer and select Report Connections and check all the three pivot tables. This will connect the slicer to all the three pivot tables to allow all three tables to be filtered simultaneously by the slicer for ease of controlling the format of the presentation report. You can even add multiple slicers to control the presentation report formats. We hope you agree that the slicer is useful as a presentation filtering tool to manipulate the presentation format and for filtering data without needing to keep changing the formulas in your Excel file to suit the format required. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification button.